I'm Jason Kelly with Bloomberg. I'm here at the Climate Summit for Local Leaders with Aclima's Chief Creative Officer, Reuben Herzl. Reuben, great to see you. How are things? I want to get to the prop here. You were very kind to bring something to show, but what's Aclima? Tell us.
Well, the word acclimate is actually rooted in the word for adaptation, so to acclimate, and the company was really founded with the intent to make tools for adaptation. So when it comes to climate change and air pollution, these are things that we all care about, so we essentially make tools for adaptation.
And you're an architect by training, right? So how did you come up with this idea? You're a co-founder of the company.
Yeah, so as an architect in a previous life, I actually was really interested in the way buildings operated, obviously, but I found as in the early stages with Google, we deployed this indoor environmental sensor network, and that gave us the opportunity to really understand how buildings live and breathe, which is something that you don't really get to see as an architect or as a designer. So it was really exciting to make the switch to sensor networks.
So sensor networks, help me understand what you're talking about there. I mean, this is sort of taking all of this data kind of unwittingly, right? Or unwittingly to me, it's all around me. How do you do it?
Well, to explain what Aclima does and how we do it, we at Aclima, we design and deploy sensor networks, environmental sensor networks that measure the air pollution that affects human health and planetary health by that same measure. And we've been working with partners at the enterprise level, but also with partners in government to really understand this new layer of environmental understanding. And so we want to find out what we can glean from that information and solve the problems that our partners have.
So what's the most surprising problem you've come up with? What's the biggest surprise that you've seen from all this data?
Well, in the indoor environmental network that we have in Google, we have several of the buildings that we have equipped in Mountain View, and there was actually a bike to work day, as you know, in San Francisco in the Bay Area, and we actually found that had a measurable impact on the indoor environment, which was pretty amazing. So you can see the CO2 levels go down on bike to work day, but you can also see that during other events, say the BART strike day that was also in the Bay Area, that essentially put all of that public infrastructure out of commission. So we saw a lot more cars on the road, and we can also see those rises, those pollution.
So you actually measure that in the building. You can sense it.
That begged the question. Okay, this is what we're seeing inside of these buildings in real time, but what's going on outside? And we think of climate change, right? We really it's a huge problem and requires big partners to do this. So working with the Google Street View folks, we realized that was a really great opportunity to equip those vehicles to really explore and find out what's going on outside. Where are these emissions coming from? And that was really exciting.
So tell us how this works. What's going on here?
Yeah. So combining the Street View platform with our environmental sensors, we have a suite of sensors, right? It's incredibly flexible. So if we want to measure VOCs or ozone or carbon dioxide, all those things, we have reference grade equipment, which we've had heavily vetted by our partners at the EPA. So we have a cooperative research and development agreement with them to really help design the routes that these vehicles should go to cover the grid in spiral patterns or linear patterns or clover leaf sometimes around street intersections. You'll go back and forth to really map that out. But we also have low-cost sensors that are combined with those high-grade reference equipment. So our hope is really to make this information as accessible as the weather. So what if you could check to see which playground you should send your kids to go play in based on what we've been able to predict and essentially on the street by street level. I think that's a really exciting endeavor that we're just shipping the surface at right now.
Yeah, that's great. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us. It's really great to hear about the work you're doing at Aclama. Reuben Herzl, Chief Creative Officer, co-founder. Great to be with you here on the Google Hangout.
Thank you.